Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on GhanaTalks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. We apologize sincerely for the brief interruption. It was a technical challenge, but yes, we have resolved it and we are back on your airwaves. Steve.
Yes, sir.
We thank God that we are back.
It feels good to be back.
It feels good.
At a point, I thought we weren't going to come back. But I'm glad we did.
Yeah. So, yes, as you were saying earlier on before the challenge occurred, it's an understandable feat from the end of the government. But that doesn't invalidate the cries or the worries of the citizens. We believe, and speaking for the citizens, we believe that it's about time government can find an alternative to resolving some of these issues without always making it a point to tax the people. That would be fair. As a country blessed with so much resources and riches, we should find a way to channel some of these things to tackle these challenges without always burdening. Even if it's 50 pesos, it still goes against the masses.
Okay, I get you. But that sector itself with resources is also a challenge. Government doesn't own any gold mine in Ghana. And even that, we are paid royalties. You get it?
Yeah.
Yes, a cotton na brain for one kakra. Yanka say ye chefon. We could have done a say for fan. You get it? But I say cotton na brain royalties. So the royalties no kitu and no be near the free SHS. And no be near the ya kwine. And no be near the PM my foka. What do I say?
Yeah.
So with this, the Ghanaian must understand, in as much as I understand the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian, that it is not pleasant. I understand. But the consequences of watching our energy sector collapse or crash will be dire than paying 1 cedi on top of a liter. What do I say?
Yeah.
If we don't have electricity in this country, industries will go down. People will lose their jobs. It will be irrelevant to even live in Accra because most of the things that we do in Accra here is based on electricity. I just say and how many of us in Accra right now can move back to the villages and farm like our great grandfathers or our fathers? So we have come to a point that something drastic, something that is not tasteful, something very better has to be done to ensure that we ramp up our revenues and pay the energy sector debt, or the sector will collapse. Yet time I married the free Kumasi Accra de Kumasi. It cost us over $35 million. Nipa netana office no science our contract. You the free taking poor bagana $5 million. $5 million.
Kumasi was in taking.
And the Sankrofona Yano, Kasa Ogana. And the Sankrofona Yano, Kasa said the D levy, in the E levy, in the T levy. You people, those people contributed almost 50% of our, 80% of our current challenges that we have today.
Yeah.
You get it?
Sure.
But, well, and no man, no, and no more kasa. I don't get it. Sometimes, I was say the politics to change. Near Magana need the ordinary Ghanaian, not say. These are the challenges.
Okay.
And yeah, buying back when never solve the challenges, no. You get it?
Sure.
So when the ESLA was being introduced,
Yeah.
Baumia mounted podiums, including the MPP Fui, and then called it a nuisance tax. There was a sunset clause in the ESLA. ESLA, it was supposed to run for just 3 years.
Yeah.
One by no be sunset clause, if you know, extending. They say it tries ESLA into infinity, but they champion against it. So when NDC was introducing VAT, Akufo-Addo you obey president kon right was it kumi preko TB da or buy only the number of percentage or the two so or no president what to VAT mudu do pa Ghana.
Oh, chairman.
Yes. And I hear people say, instead of 1 cedi, no, money identity na money percentage. Yes, percentage ne ye. Ka percentage is here. Who knows? Back from me boy. Yeah. And this are buying a cast 25% on a liter. Maybe it will ramp up to maybe. Okay, 25 is too much. Let's say just if a liter was just what do you call it? 10 cedi krana. No cast 10%. 1 cedi me boy. But can you say? Then be a better fuel no ma kosoro no.
It goes up.
Your 1 cedi isn't 1 cedi anymore.
Yeah. It will go up.
Ebe kosoro. So I think that it is better say a man figure
Than a percentage. Okay.
I hope you get it.
Sure.
So I think that look, the government, I don't communicate for government. I don't communicate for the NDC. I don't communicate for the government. But I see reason in what they are doing.
Okay.
You get it?
Sure.
I see reason in what they are doing.
Okay.
And yesterday I was having a conversation with a brother on WhatsApp. And then he was saying that the e-levy was that, the e-levy was this. So I asked him, how much were you buying the fuel?
Yeah.
He said 18 to 20 cedis, depending on the type of fuel that you want to buy. And I said, okay, were you paying e-levy? I said, yes, I was still paying e-levy. So I asked him, now you don't pay e-levy. Now the fuel is how much? 12 cedis per liter. And you are angry? Even if they add that 1 cedi to, what do you call it, the 12 cedis that you pay, it will be 13 cedis, which is far lesser than the 16 cedis, 18, 20 that you were buying a liter of fuel for. And people will talk about Toyota Corolla, you need, what do you call it, 1,000 cedis to fuel it. Okay, 1,000 cedis and you're paying 50 cedis on top. But you've forgotten that you were paying more than 1,000 cedis to fuel that same Corolla. Now you are paying 1,050 cedis and you are angry. You get the rationale. So I think that, you see, as I deal with Kranon, can you say car owners and po esu ho? One more car motor fuel, can you so musu ho? In care what say, you say a cost price increase in fuel fares, and I can what say, ye ain't my phone, I ye cars, no, in Kayesu.
And not to cut you off, but the president yesterday mentioned that there's not going to bring any increment on the fuel prices. So.
Of course. Fuel no crano. The next pricing window, I saw better.
Yeah.
They are projecting that it will come down.
And that's even huge. They are projecting from 5 to 10% or 9%.
Of course. This 1 cedi will be insignificant. And I like what the finance minister and his team did. They could have introduced this tax when the fuel was around 17, 18, 19 cedis. They didn't. They waited for it to come down, drop down. Now, Ghana Fono doesn't feel the impact of what they are going to add. How sensitive can somebody be?
Okay, that's fair. Debbie?
Well, as I said, the energy sector, we owe like 67 billion. And with that 67 billion, if we don't take the necessary measures or steps to clear our debt, then it means that either we pay it now or generations comes to pay for it.
And that would be huge damage.
And yes, and that would be an additional, that would be times 2 or times 3 of what we owe now.
Okay.
And so with the 1% levy,
That one CD.
sorry, let me just say the 1 CD levy on fuel price that we are all talking about here and there and stuff. In a way, I would say it's cool because it will help clear our debt. And then let's look at this. The energy sector contributes a lot to the development of this country. People use fuel. The transport, the vehicles you take, it is because of fuel you get to wherever you want to get to. And then we use light for basically almost everything. We use light for everything. So just imagine, how do you feel when light goes off continually for 2 days? You feel so restless. Maybe you have a deal you have to attend to, and then there is no light, your phone is off, everything is off, and then you are just left idle, just like that. So in a way, it's okay. But then my only problem is, are we going to be notified? Okay, fine, we've introduced one CD levy on fuel prices, and this 1 CD levy on fuel prices is going to give us, as I said, 5.7 billion. So far, we've gotten the 5.7 billion. We've paid this amount. This is what we've left. Oh, maybe the 1 CD levy we are bringing on board, can we add up something? Oh no, the 1 CD levy, we've cleared our debt. We are taking it off. You see, this will make the government a bit different from the previous government we've experienced before. Because with the e-levy, they said same thing. They said the e-levy they are going to project it more into development of the country, road infrastructure, and as I see it here, minimum road infrastructure being normal constructed. With the one they've constructed too, it came with a lot of problems and stuff. They never told us. They didn't even account to us, even when they were living in power. I can't remember when the former president was giving his last State of Nation address. Someone asked that question, Okay. They didn't even tell us. So I feel like this government, yes, we are bringing it in, and we understand that maybe as it stands now, we have no other option. Whether we cry or not, we will still pay because it has already been implemented. So what I will plead with the government is that they shouldn't keep us in darkness. So this is it. As time goes on, we should know what is the outcome of it, whether we are progressing, we are succeeding in what we are doing, and I say enkosi bebia. But with the 1 CD levy need and I feel like it will help because when they started, the energy minister said they were collaborating with other partners, and it came to a time even the partners they were collaborating with so it's a whole lot. So I feel like if this is the only way out, then why not? And then you also made a statement that we have resources, we have natural resources. Why don't we channel it through that route instead of increasing the burden on the citizen? The resources we have, maybe you don't know, it is not for us. Even though it is in Ghana, gold no year too, but I saw a video where the current president for US was making a statement, and he was like, the resources in Africa is not for Africans, it's for them. Yes, it's for them. And so this was, I'm not trying to divert from what we are saying now, but then this was actually in line with Ibrahim Traore. And they were like, they are not going to allow Africa unite, because when they unite, it's going to bring a huge problem to them, because the resources we have, belongs to them. And it's true. Because as my big brother said, gold near too. It's not as he said, we take majority of the money because
Okay.
they go to sell it, and then it's like what they want is what they give us.
Okay.
It's like you selling it, and then the 10% you are only giving us 1%, and you are taking the 9%.
Okay. So you, in all, you think it's valid? We should.
Oh yes, it's
take it into
it's valid.
consideration
We
as
should take it into
citizens
consideration.
and do it once
Yeah,
and for all.
even though
It
for
comes
the
with-
hit need yeah, be feel like a crab
Heat in the
momu
day,
dear.
heat in the day.
Yeah, be feel it. But we have we have no option. And you see, they also said before they came into power, they said they're not going to, I mean, bring any nuisance tax, increase any taxes. But listen, that time they were not in power.
What is the definition of nuisance? Let's get the definition of nuisance.
They were not in. They were not
cleared.
in.
We won't talk about it. We won't talk about
Let's get the definition of nuisance.
No, but
Nuisance
but I
is
get you.
nuisance is without purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
You get
Oh,
it?
yes.
When they say something is a nuisance, you don't see the relevance and the purpose
Oh,
of it.
I
Yeah,
understand.
if there is anything I will comment about this tax is that it is giving a purpose.
Oh yes, it is
It
given a
addressing
purpose.
a
Yes.
challenge that we all
Yes.
face.
So I was actually like moving to a different direction.
Yeah.
They said they were not going to introduce any taxes, right? But then they were not in government.
Okay.
And now, before the previous government left power,
Yeah.
they made the statement that this is the amount of money, specifically in the energy sector. They mentioned an amount of money, fee. But when the current Minister of Energy, designated by the current administration, got into office, we realized that what they said they've left behind is not what they've met. And see, there is nothing we can do. So they've met a different problem on the ground, and they are supposed to bring a solution to end it. And see, we have no option.
A kaba.
A cover.
Maybe
And we have to pay. And say and I had one of the producers. No, what?
It was the producer.
It
No,
was
it
the
was.
producer.
Yeah, he said that.
Say and the best. Yeah.
Yeah. So I producer no, a Chelsea fan no
So I align with the submission that we made. You see, we have a challenge.
Yeah.
How do we solve the
Solve
challenge?
it, sure.
Should be the question every Ghanaian should be asking.
Okay.
And I think that in as much as it is not pleasant to pay tax, this is the options that we have.
We have. Sure.
You get it?
Sure.
It's either this or 50% increment in your electricity tariff, which I think will be too much.
Okay.
And the way to kakra. Now, my 50% and so on.
Okay.
You get it?
Yeah.
And the government has even projected that food also better in the next pricing window.
Okay.
So people, we won't feel, even though it will be impactful, but we won't feel the impact much.
Okay. Okay. Thank you there for both submissions. Let's move on to the next. The next topic for discussion. It's even funny.
Yeah.
There's been a banter between the former finance minister, Mr. Ken Oforiatta, and the OSP since January. It's been back and forth. One is looking for the other. The other is not making himself
Hide and
being
seek.
then, you know, this issue started on a note that we thought we all believe should have been processed or in the process of getting to its final stages by now. But you know, it keeps extending, and the end from which it extends is the finance minister's end. We don't really know what is going on. One day he gives a day to report, the other another day, oh, I can't report because of this and that. The OSP2 always put him on a wanted list. He comes to negotiate, they take him off, he disappoints again, they bring him back on a wanted list, back and forth. The recent one is when he said that he was going to make himself available on June 2nd. That was what was given to him.
Yeah.
And on the 28th of May, according to the OSP, he was told that, oh, the man is not feeling well, so the June 2nd is not going to be convenient for them. So unless they wait till he has his surgery on June 13th, then afterwards they can see another day that he can come. So OSP says no. If there is any such medical concerns, prove it with the medical reports. They failed to do so. OSP declares him wanted. Yesterday we wake up to see a released report to the OSP from Furata's lawyers that okay, this is the medical report, and there's been a whole lot of saga around the report itself.
Medical report, babe. That's not a medical report. What the letter that leaked was not a medical report. If somebody in a hospital writes to you that, oh, Mr. Dubik is sick today, he cannot come to the studio.
Yeah.
If you want any further information, contact us. Is that a medical report?
Well, according to them, that is the report they presented as their medical report.
Do they know what the medical report is?
But Steve, honestly speaking, do you think the OSP has been too lenient? One.
Sure.
Or do you think he's been inconsiderate that the man is sick and he's still trying to get him down here for investigation?
Let me start this by let me start it this way. You see, Oforiata has no business helping the OSP prove his case. Listen to what I'm saying very carefully.
Okay.
Oforiata has no business in helping OSP prove his case.
Okay.
That is why the OSP would have to arrest Oforiata to prove his case. You get my point?
Okay.
Because, you see, if Oforiata wasn't guilty,
Yeah.
what he should be doing is volunteering information that will clear him.
Okay.
What did I say?
Yes.
You see, you said you were going to have a surgery in March. Mebwa.
Yeah.
And you bet me about in April. And you said you bet me about in May.
Yeah.
And I always say, oh no, don't come in May. Recuperate. Nyabotre ma honto na bra. Na niema me do be famu na mu ade. Ohia hode. Udu you kra ojina na nzo kra no. Obi e no dimi na ntena wo. Endi nyabotre na honto. You get it?
Yeah.
Then the surgery doesn't come on. Okay, they don't do the surgery.
Yeah.
The reasonable thing to do is to inform the OSP. OSP, I said I was going to come. We agreed I was going to come in June. But the surgery has been postponed with an evidence showing that the surgery has been postponed to the OSP, telling the OSP that the surgery has been postponed.
Yeah.
Then another date has been rescheduled. Then due to that, the OSP will look at your recuperation time, the time it will take for you to actually feel strong and come. And then another date will be set. And no problem in the hole. What Tanasia says this. Today, what's about my own after I catch OSP said you now, muscle. In Tiafi, I obey your surgery for. Really? Not a young quada.
So, do you think that Mr. Oforiata is just trying to play an evasive?
You see, extradition. Say, you can't say Ghana Nibia Bonia Ghana Quatana Bruchia. Extradition laws on and yes, simple how it will take years before the court processes. If he decides to go to court over there, he will be assembly be obet me say Ghana Hokrana Krana Modeme Kono human right. They will not take Anna my human right in the Mamon Flamenco. He can go to the court in the US and argue that.
Okay.
You get it? Even though he might win, he might not win the case, but it will prolong the time or the bedding.
Sure.
And also the ban.
Sure.
You get it? And you see, people like Oforiata, they have connections and links.
International one.
International, Africa, Ghana, everywhere. And he said, Semba, now if you give him leeway, he will cover his tracks. You get it? That's why I always say it was wrong for them to even allow him to travel when they knew they were investigating him. I don't know prostate cancer. Agbeve muniha. Huh? Agbeve ne. I'm scientific ne. Ghana for munis can only a prostate cancer. Have an uncle. Agbeve ne. I'm scientific ne croneva. And about we friend Penny's doctor. Or no friends then. Oh no, there's a herbal. No, there's a herbal doctor. Like, excuse my language. They call him the Penny's doctor. He's there.
But I think his own is different.
No, or when you have prostate. So if you have, oh God, I can be crazy. So if there's an issue, if you have a challenge, what you do is that you communicate it properly with the OSP.
Yeah.
You see, you can give your proper medical report. You see, if you want to absent ourselves from work, we don't go there with what do you call it, a lab result. We go there with a proper medical report.
Yeah. From the doctor who
of course. Where you say Mohammed Juan when been a science, let away the bay OSP. On your doctor ni. He can even be the PR of the doctor. He can be working just as a mere clerk there. So small money, he can give you whatever you want. Small, he can write something and give it to whoever. So the thing is, I mean, for yata, and Kamema OSP no any access to my medical file. What I say?
Yeah.
Jimmy medical file no shame. Of course, it's confidential. You cannot publish it.
Yeah.
Jimmy medical file no shame. Who shame you are my doctor ni enen kasa. After speaking to my doctor, it will now make sense to you. Say, oh, is it even prudent? Say me OSP no baho ebe eno be kasa and I say or came out ba.
Yeah.
But we're not doing any of this.
Sure.
One year say unya come for one say the first time you declared wanted they come not will come for power. People were speaking on his behalf. Is it the same now? Even Afenyo Makin went into parliament and said he was going to bring you by May on November. Yeah, who you could see Afenyo Makin or Shaba would so Sam or Cocas or the in team for the corner up to one fan uncle.
So in all this, first of all, people are examining the psychological plea at hand, and some have the belief that probably if this man wasn't really guilty, he wouldn't be evading his ways here and there.
Of course.
Secondly, another party says that the OSP is being inconsiderate because the man has said he is sick. Who knows? Cancer is deadly. So then just give him the ample time until he feels fit to report.
I tell you, you're watching the cast while you're here.
Say,
me say I tell you, you're watching on. Now I tell you, who say what? I told you was a suspect, just like. But Kenofrata is a suspect. They are all suspects. But I question I you question what didn't to make clean or was also. We are sure to give Jano. Yeah, because all you are into question where you are no other. Quebec, near the Nako police hospital. Yeah, so Kenofrata, a chicken of Rata no ya, then about police hospital, Miahan, who way busy.
So on behalf of the OSP, what do you think should be done?
The OSP has done a lot of things. Issuing a red notice, putting him back on the wanted list and all that.
Yeah.
But I would want the OSP to go there and see where he is. Go to the hospital and send investigators to the hospital. Go and make enquiries and bring us the report of the inquiry the OSP made. If indeed Kenofrata is there, is receiving treatment there.
Okay. Debbie.
The issue of Oforiata, I see it to be one of these political tactics that he's playing, because if you are being allegedly involved in crime, and this has to do with you causing financial loss to the state, and then you are being wanted, and then for the first time you said because of this and that, so it should be postponed. Well, the OSP understood, even to the extent that some people said that the OSP does not know his work. Yes, and then it has been postponed, and now it is time for you to come, and then you are saying we should postpone it to 18th June again because you are sick of prostate cancer.
The 18th June is not even when he's coming. The 18th June is the day they are doing the surgery. So it can be that the surgery will be postponed again, and then you have to wait again. They fix the date, it will be postponed again.
You see,
until the icon don't come.
No. Then when it's something like that, it means the OSP cannot continue with what he has to do. And then one thing, it's portrayed as not to be serious.
Okay.
Yes.
You see, sometimes certain measures needs an extreme solution.
Okay.
American. And I'm going to be born in Wabana Ghana. And I hear you say, I wouldn't come America for by first watcher. They would have just brought in their SEAL team, the CIA, come do investigations. Are they betting I kidnap all the Oko? That is what America would have done. Are they betting baby now than no niho?
Why can't we do the same?
Do you have the resources to do same?
That's another issue.
Do you have the resources to do same?
Another issue.
American can rent a private jet, put it on a tarmac, say it is classified. Ghana security be on call. Who Ghana you bet me the private jet I could say American I can say classified that American security ni be amaho. Untimi.
Yeah.
So I think that the OSP needs to take an extreme measure to bring Kenya of back. An extreme measure. Even if he has to, if it needs that John Mahama picks a phone and call Donald Trump directly and tell him say Obi abedimu krom ho mon fa number John Mahama
now you walk through Trump shot.
Yeah.
Sabe Trump then some phone dinner Ghana a doors of the he's the president of America, not president of the world. You get it?
Yeah.
So he cannot seek to control everybody in the world. No, it doesn't work that way.
No.
But true on the short word, true. Me can't come true near chance. What you say Africa is a shithole. Now you want to control African resources. What is wrong with you? So I think that the OSP, as I already said, needs to take an extreme measure to bring Kenya Foriata. See, I can't say the yewe. Kenya Foriata or Maudo. Messi Akufo do crack in Africa on my ye. Okay, I agree with you. What is Messi Akufo do woo can of Foriata with the current situation a woman is here. Oh, my. Oh, ma. Now one car. One car. No, only a dear to me. The one go. Oh, mother. So the issue about Kenya Foriata is dicey, and one thing in all fairness, you see, Kenya Foriata has a fundamental human right, which is the right to health care. So in as much as I want him to come and answer for his crimes, if there are health challenges, he should deal with them, but he should be forthcoming with the information. What did I say? On the medical report OSP, what will happen? We know that you had a kidney transplant in 2021. In 2021. It is a known fact. And as I say, prostate minimum no did it. But as I say, our prostate so like what one ben partner won't say, do medical report or medical fire no be OSP say OSP and member, but I'm going through this, I'm going through that. OSP will bring in a doctor, a consultant. And then the consultant will give him the overview of Adeno medical report now what they are. The OSP is not a doctor, he's a lawyer. So if you bring him a medical report, he cannot read and understand it. He might understand some words, but some things about it can be so technical that he will need a consultant. And if it is possible, the OSP, the consultant the OSP is going to bring can liaise with what do you call it? Medical facility, and then they can give him information for the OSP to further understand the situation you are at hand.
Okay.
What I say? But hide and seek and now China pillow low way there. No. You see? Pillow low way there. We cannot tolerate it. Because a meme ya bonia.
Yeah.
Na me yare the upa so prana. Yeah, the hank of Tommen, sir. At the tumpum. Whether I'm guilty or not.
Okay.
So why is Ofuriata different?
Okay.
Also bempa what you also bempa and a last be. Oyare ya mpina send in the boxes and fana ko tom pass one fa hank of Anton sa hank of Anton sa fana bompam. Also bempa sofu. Sofu mpoya ni say na wa o white.
So I believe like no one is above the law.
Of course.
Okay.
So long as you are being pointed out that this is it, you should make yourself available.
Yeah.
And even if you can't make yourself available, I know there are right ways to do all things. And then with the letter,
Yeah.
you know, even the title of the letter was "To whom it may concern." To whom it may concern.
So on why I found who we are
You see,
Mm-hmm.
so it tells us a different story altogether.
Okay.
Because if you are bringing out a letter, the title of the letter is "To whom it may concern." Then what are you trying to insinuate?
You should address the OSP directly.
Exactly.
Of course.
Okay.
If the letter is, but you see, propaganda or moped INT, they did it in a way that they can leak it. If you address it to the OSP, it becomes confidential. Because an engagement between you and the OSP. But because they wanted to leak it in the public and use it to do jandam, and I'm here to whom it may concern. Me can for that. Me Steven Yamete say wouldn't do my car and I saw more my car. Oh baby, uncle, come a family home. A minister making for that crime. I didn't know Ken for that until he became finance minister.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you the truth.
Really?
Of course.
Same
I didn't
here.
know Ken Oforiatta until he became the finance minister.
Oh, okay.
So your business, aside you being finance minister, I don't care.
Yeah.
But we are saying that calm down and answer
Okay.
for the things, for the time, for your stewardship at the finance ministry. That is all.
Okay.
Exactly.
Whatever you do with your life, I don't give a damn. Go ahead and do with it. But time, no, 8 years, 7 years now, would be as a fan. You see, bebu hua konta, brana bebu hua konta.
Okay.
And you're not who could see her. Yenny do koye. Yenny to abama o near Kufuado. And a Kufuado by na. Ghana 5 years and 4 years. One who be an offer. I was a woman on him. One on him for future. One on him kenke party. Uti kwa jebo siya be kenke party ni Ghana ha. Yes, be bua kontana Uganda. You see, when the majority then said say Keno Forata or Muntu no ya no, there was some Keno Forata kind. Or see he has a strong DNA.
Yes.
The DNA who are the party he can continue in office. Now why you Juma we now DNA who are now he can continue in office.
You are giving excuse.
Now for brabe ya all of a sudden with DNA assassin. With DNA is weak.
Okay. that is it.
Which automatically means he's guilty. Because if I'm being pointed,
no, we can't call him.
Wait,
guilty.
so this is what I'm saying.
Okay.
If I'm being pointed out by the OSP that I should come for questioning, and then I'm refusing to go, it means there is a question mark, and it means I'm guilty. Because the OSP calling me out means he wants to get a total clarity on something.
Okay.
And so me coming in is just to help him clarify certain things.
Omar,
Yes.
yeah, tears is here. Ah, yeah, three. Say, o phone ya. Na me fan bag ibomachi. Na me pio kwa ni mo na say, oh, my head be bag mu. My head dey we say. Me ni ho. Kofi fa bag na bra na ehwem.
What's it?
Me say me fan
My
bag.
major party shame.
Me fan bag na ba. Me automatically you think that I stole it even if I didn't.
Yes.
The best thing I can do is avail my bag to you. Search the bag. If it is not in, if you want to search my pocket, search my pocket. It's a washroom or crying person call roar me when I hear. Who bet me call roar when you be hune e wa wasama. You get it.
And in Kamama Debbie akwa.
Debbie,
Hey,
Mr. And ha no go twa ho. Maybe so in as much as we are all saying that he has the right to healthcare and all that, he should avail himself. He should make information accessible to the OSP.
Okay.
Many no crank OSP in the down for.
But do you know that? And I was come. Do you know that? So OSP when him say he votes from the NPP.
Me say this.
When you say na down for
Me say
Ofurata.
na down for pane back no. Ayi back we.
Back ben.
Akwa fian we ya.
Oje dako.
Aha. Ono ni na me pe. Sa akwa no. On na ye na down for pa. And even here, you see, and that scares me. That scares me. Pa. You see, what can happen is that this is a hypothetical situation. I'm not saying it will happen.
Sure.
You see, somebody can think that the OSP is only putting up a charade, pushing Oforiata to go to court in the US to prolong this whole thing.
Okay.
Because if Oforiata goes to court in the US, and you see, once of OSP is investigating Oforiata, it will be difficult for the Attorney General to take on this case and then try to prosecute it. It will be like overlapping investigations. So I feel that this is what is going on, and if somebody will be right to say that, and it scares me a lot to think that the OSP has links with the Oforiata family.
Okay.
It bet me have say when you are planned. And
Okay.
you get it?
Yeah.
But Mr. Omari, I want to ask a question. Is the OSP the right person to deal with this issue, or you think he should be replaced?
Honestly, and people calling for this are right. They are feeling what you just said has come up in the past 3 to 4 days. That know how things are going. There is a conflict of interest here, and this might actually be a charade. The OSP might be even covering up for this man, because looking at the I was about to use a word, but I don't want to use that word. But the confidence he has in rescheduling his meetings with them, like, what gives him that? Do you get me?
Yeah.
He puts it across in a way that he knows, yes, they are going to.
Oforiata has always been like that. And your Oforiata na na call me do fear home. I check out and say, all the time I owe you no nya. So I do not know Oforiata Adamfo.
Yeah.
But no Oforiata to me call fear kwa and say, oh yeah, auditing to a Japajai. Oforiata na ma do juma.
No.
Oforiata has always seen himself as even more powerful than the president.
Okay. But coming to your question, yes, it falls in line with the hypothetical scenario you just gave, and you know it's valid. It's very valid, because as we all know, what is Oforiata to Gabi Oshedako?
Cousins.
Exactly. And Gabi is a very good friend with the OSP.
And he even recommended him to be president, to be the OSP.
The OSP. So it's an entire cartel of.
Me say why na OSP we watching that?
Oh, since 8 years.
Why na OSP watching that? Why na OSP etimi a jeli no agye sika bi won hwa na why?
Not a mosquito.
And every year we spend money on that useless office.
Then it should be dissolved. It should be dissolved.
I always say this: the OSP, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, was set up by Akufo-Addo to hunt his political opponent.
Okay.
Oh yeah, OSP ni we no. Huh? Why would he can recommend? Oh, tell letter man say you investigating. John Mahama, former president, sat in this country, avail himself to the OSP. A former finance minister thinks he's too big into your area. Uncle Kotana Bruchapi and Honda Bebano, only OSP be Zoom. One in the Zoom. The Nipa dear Grana say, I accusing to say, well, we are body and no Zoom, no police station for a Zoom. Huh?
Yes.
You see, what is going on there?
Yeah.
Therefore, I thought na basic chrome hano. Na woman de no court to be. Na court no man bail may 1 man demonstration. You know why? Because this person has shown that he's a flight risk or took or free mind with him. Woman bail, no to me free mind with man or quite how my beam.
Sure.
Since you for that 90 chrome with man, and what's what them mark up him didn't ask me.
Okay.
He must be in police custody or the prison custody until we finish his prosecution. Odibema on fan hundi. Odi for so I am on them. Odi for crana we can convert time now the them remand now as time served near Jano Noko.
Okay.
Says
Yeah.
Would them remand for a number of years, we can convert it as time served or born in Tizenka. You be jail 5 years. Now what that was no what them remand near do was 5 years. It's because to say, oh, yeah, we can be jail 5 years. But we remand now what them no. We are converting that into time served into court.
Okay.
Tibet me and Samano.
Okay. Okay. Not so long ago, we were here and then we heard the nurses put out a message that they want to go on strike because of some agreement they have with government that it hadn't been.
Let me ask, for how many years have they had that agreement? I heard it. I heard some people saying it's 2 years.
It's getting to 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't actually start with this government. It started with the
I know.
previous
I know. I just want to.
That's
I
what
want
you
to.
wanted to
Yes,
clarify.
I want to.
Yeah, so it started with the previous government. Then this government came to power, and they realized there were some legal challenges that they need to rectify. So they sat with the Nurses Association, and they all went into agreement that okay, then let's look at these challenges and resolve it. But according to the nurses, ever since then, they haven't had any responsive action from government. If they ask about the legal challenge and how far with it, there is not much communication from that end, and that gives them the mindset or the assumption that probably they are just taking them for granted. But these are people who we will see or testify to the fact that they do much more in this country.
Everybody does much more in this country.
But health is one of the most crucial aspects of.
And you think food is not?
We understand. We understand. See, what these people are going through sometimes, and I know you are related to one. So you should understand where they are coming from.
See, let me tell you this. Everybody okra ne say ma kwan say any management in kasa because we kasa omo some allowances na into akatwe.
Baby.
I'm not trying to rubbish their concerns. Sure. Their concerns are legit.
Sure.
But you have an agreement with your government for 2 good years. 2 years.
Okay.
You don't do anything about it. You sit down and a new government comes in place. And you sit with the new government and they tell you that there are legal challenges. So let us fix it. 4 months also won't tell you. Now government, parliament call recess one bad. This week, parliament resume from recess. Meboa. Into a parliamentarians in the Wufin and correct. From some momra, near rectify issue. And I send anything. You see, sometimes I always say this, Mr. Essential Service. Year demonstration and I strike. Yeah, na me.
Okay.
Because you had it me to be at any time.
Sure.
Wow, what say? I buy ma usikano. What the what now was a win judgment? You to one year, the mommy be hospital or hell. Trouble hell.
Yeah.
Obi ma media then about also oh strike year demonstration. You see, there are essential service. Some of them are not shouldn't be allowed to go on strikes.
So if that is the case,
you see,
the government should make sure they attend to them with some. Let's be honest. Sadia we are parliamentarians. Na kasi here BBC man ya ma parliament be ma. Let's be honest to ourselves. Do you think the government is going to prolong whatever thing they said they are they are resolving.
Okay, let's do a quantitative analysis with what you just said. Parliamentarians are all Ghana hanging, I say. 276.
276, yeah.
Yeah. Next is all Ghana hanging, I say.
There'll be more than that.
So you get my point.
So no, the point, I'm not getting the point you are making. Right?
Okay, the point I'm trying to make is that
Yeah.
parliamentarians, eka say, omo maju because of this and this and this and that. Because omo number ni swanity, it will be easy to to get funds to do whatever they want us to do. Than necessary. You say parliamentarians, Jessica parliamentarians, Jessica. But how can Ghana have necessary Jessica boom now? Parliamentarians in Jessica, necessary also check parliamentarians in there.
But how much does a single nurse take, and how much does a single parliamentarian?
No, we are talking about a profession. We are not talking about individual. So yeah, analysis, you might not get where I'm going. I'm talking about the institution as a whole. The institution as a whole.
Okay.
So I'm not individualizing them.
Okay, that's fair.
That's why I said let's do a quantitative analysis, of course. So if you put this group together and put that group together, this group earns more than this group.
Okay.
What you say? So in as much as I like the plight, or I understand the plight of the nurses, that they would want more, which I agree they should advocate for more. Yeah. I think that strike is not the right way to go. Okay. When the primary teaching hospital people decided to strike because the minister said something to a doctor or fired a doctor or something, I came here and made the same analysis that say because a Ghana police and so say or music and so on call striker. Do you know the chaos that will cost? The cast a Ghana military service, Ghana armed forces. Yeah. Yes, or music and so on call strike. Do you know the chaos? A queer forecast and ne yes, you can swing. You turn your dove wokrana yenya at a form of metal. Until you no food for 1 full year. You can imagine the chaos.
Okay.
So I understand that there are challenges. You have to address it, but don't blackmail us with strike actions. Okay. Because I want also we strike, we next ni we call strike no. O ma me ye do ma me ba na of the stretcher so the chedecha. We be strike no no kwa no. Ntia de ntina me de me nye next ni me ma me ba. O ka kire me say, "Oh, was strike nti me ma me de onko." You get it? We can advocate for whatever we want to get, but we shouldn't use strike as an alternative. We shouldn't use strike as a bargaining chip to get whatever we want.
See, they've been at the bargaining table for numerous times. I don't want us to make it seem like they only feel the NDCs who they can strike on. Why didn't they go on strike with the NDC?
That's not what I'm saying.
No. I get you. These are sentiments from the public assertion, which I am trying to, bring into the conversation. They've been at the table for so many times. They go, they come, and as citizens, we need to understand that government is continuous. We don't need to separate them. Okay, where NDC, NPP buy or 1 year antenna 5 times. NDC so any antenna 5 times and send your baby beer. Government is continuous. It is a cost 7 times and we now you about 2 times. We are still like
government.
Let's say no.
Government.
Yeah. And if they are taking the strike, see, these people I would see, they've even done us a good. With time I share almost 30 a day, now still our monka as government of the country. It's so bad. It doesn't speak well. Okay.
That's what I say. And when you're making amendments, a lot of things goes into amending a law or introducing a law. Yeah, you have to read the constitution, do analysis to know say emre we amend it, but I say emre we make amendment affect another provision of the constitution. Because the constitution is the parents' law. Any law that conflicts with the parents' law is void.
Okay.
What did I say? All this analysis has to go into the thinking of the drafters of the law.
Okay.
What did I say? So it's not something that it can be done in a short space of time. And I have seen this. I say this from experience. You see, when Atamios came into power in 2009, he is the most governmental was suffer a lot of demonstrations. Do you know why? Because Kufuor implemented. Kufuor went and then signed the bill of single spine into law, and then left office and left it to Atamils to implement.
Yeah.
When Atamils came, he said, "Oh, labor for mama me break akra." Na memfa enshisha niema na membe implement. Labor say force no. Say nya ye na mbana de ope wo mpe obeye. From 2010, yeah, from 2000 from 2009,
a marathon.
of course. Emma fire service phone na call strike Ghana. Fire service phone na call strike Ghana has it. Fire service was I didn't know police phone is soldier for single spine so no money should be. Fire service for call strike Ghana. So I talk out of experience. I've seen these things and I was not young at that time.
Yeah.
Let me there, but let me I voted.
Sure.
So if you look at these things and you try to see what is going on now, you can only say, you see, we've suffered a lot as a country. We are a developing country. We will not get everything right.
Okay.
We are now learning.
Okay.
You get it?
Yeah.
Improving the structures and kakrank. And this is one wunya na. We just have to make sure that we keep on reminding the government that you are supposed to do this. You've not done it. Let your concerns be in the public and go back and still work.
Okay.
You can advocate for what you want and still work. You don't have to go on strike to advocate what you want. You can organize press conferences. Tell the press what your problems are and still work.
Okay.
Tell them that it is because of the people that we are working. But I say nipa beba. Na you see, and nurses for one more school man, one teacher the Chini church noble profession. Say
Yeah.
now you're noble profession. That's kaka krama ya. Now we call strike. I'm a nipa. Try still advocate for what you want. You can do both at the same time. You don't have to strike to get what you want. You can work and then negotiate. Yes, umuna jia the mount. What's the jia the mount? So I didn't think I want to now find you. Now person will do muna nekoje. So I'm just pleading with the nurses. They are our mothers, they are our sisters, they are our wives, they are our girlfriends. They are our side chicks. Some are our best friends. We are just pleading with them that they should think about the ordinary Ghanaian. They can work and still make demands on government. They don't have to go on strike and leave us in limbo when you come to the hospital. Because you see, nurses runs the hospital, not doctors, not physicians, not pharmacists. Nurses, they run the hospital. Say hospital ni be ye adwuma no nurses.
Okay.
So I understand their importance to our health. I understand that. I'm not downplaying it.
Okay.
They are very important when it comes to our health sector.
Sure.
Sa importance ninti and I make sure so na men so masra o mo say mo hu hia yen. Enti se mo hia sika kra na se mo hia bibi kakra na ma mo nyai mo jai a health system no will shut down, it will collapse.
Okay.
Enti mo ntana ho na mo nkrakra mo kakra na still a yen so yen mo am kan ma asam no nye den en ma mo.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes, sir. Okay. Debbie.
Yeah, so I understand the plight they are going through. I mean, for that long, you not being paid, and maybe I know you suppose you would definitely take transport, and then with the money issues and stuff. But then these are the lives of people we are talking about.
Okay.
And as I said, that's a noble profession. As short to her, your health is our concern. And if our health is your concern, then you are supposed to do as such.
Okay.
And even when you go for the nursing interview, they'll ask you all these questions. And then the people will tell you that it's the passion. It's not only about the money. Yes, people can go as far as possible to tell you that it's not about the money, it's the passion. But you see, when you get to the ground, you get to know that it's only passion and because passion will not give you money for transport. Passion will not give you food on the table to eat. Passion will only bring out the best in you.
Okay.
But after that, you have to take something. It's like you exchanging your passion for something to help you.
Okay.
So the passion you are exchanging it with money.
Okay.
As I said, passion will not pay your transport.
Yeah.
It's the money they'll pay you that you use to run your daily activities.
Okay.
So I understand it.
Okay.
But this is the lives of people. And they should also understand that they started during the previous administration.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if the government has it, they will even keep quiet.
Okay.
They will do it as like immediately, because they know that if this nurses should go on strike like a month, and then
Okay.
because each and every day people goes to the hospital for treatment.
Yeah.
So senior can where they are butre
Okay.
your pomocho be brain.
Okay.
I know that the government will heed to their calls. And I don't know whether you heard when mortuaries, those working in the mortuary also said that
Yeah, they will go.
they were going on demonstration.
They will go.
And it's very sad.
Yeah.
As at now, we still have people going on demonstration because they are not being paid.
Yeah.
It means that there is a lot to do. And it's also a call to the government to up his games.
Okay.
And then ensure that we lessen the expenditures and save the ones we are supposed to save, because they are running the system.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to pay everybody.
Yeah.
So long as they are working for you. It's different when the person is working in the private sector.
Okay.
But when he's working in the government sector, he or she is under the care of the government.
Okay. So government should.
So government should
pay
come in and then
critical
pay it
attention.
for them. Imagine you are married, you have kids, you pay for their fees,
Hmm.
feeding fee every week,
Yeah.
like
Even-
200
even
cedis.
To me, had problems paying his.
Don't bring
you
him to
know,
this
so
case.
it's something that they should look at the nurses.
Don't bring him to this case
Untumi
here.
just 3 days he was suffering.
There's what
to
you.
pay for
There's what
his,
you.
so
I found any
government,
so.
government, that is what
Yes.
they say. No, see, want to make cry find any so someone here be my nurses. No, I think our time is almost up, but yes, we have some few minutes to spare for the last topic. Steve,
Yes, sir.
TVET. I think it was championed by Edichum, right?
TVET. Like how?
Like under his
Oh,
tenure.
TVET has always been in the system.
Yeah, but I mean under his tenure, like he kind of made it more popular, more established. Let me put it that way.
Well, it depends on how you
I define it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But me, TVET has been in the system. Abi, what do you call it? KTI is a TVET.
Okay.
Obuasi Tech is a TVET.
Okay.
So, just that, I say, or mobile, no, and attention cost some more.
Okay.
So I'll give that to Addiction.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what
Yes.
I was.
Or by or my attention call
course.
TVET and so. And you see, I have a problem with our educational structure.
Okay, and so you use it to,
Yeah.
get into the.
I have a problem with the
Conversation.
educational structure. We are too focused on the secondary. The theory, And the area,
We like this.
yeah, per tireless crown, you conform free Togo.
Yeah.
So I think that if we take a critical look, allocate funds into this TVET, you bet me crying like we did the teacher training.
Okay.
We can say if you're going to TVET,
Yeah.
in spite of we paying your school fees, we are giving you allowance.
Okay.
And then make sure that we equip the school. It shouldn't be just T square, no draw line, no assign angle. No, we should equip the schools, give them workshops.
Sure.
I'm the best here. I don't know who know so.
Okay.
What you say?
Yeah.
If we do that, Ghana yembre, it's our labor, yes, export labor. Here for the expert, many necessary teachers.
Exactly.
So imagine if we had technical people,
Yeah, we can. export them
fabricators, masons, carpenters.
as- Yeah, we can export them.
Of
as well.
course.
Okay.
And the Ghana will be any skaka crabby or consider, and mason for Nessida. Nya carpenter for us on a water.
Yeah.
If we Nancy or Muja, you get it.
Yeah.
I watched a video on what do you call it? TikTok, and then the person said that carpenter Libya Efo. Efo phones will judge me.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
So I think that it is right that the government should allocate funds that will take care of TVET, but we need a lot of thinking to go into that TVET, see how we can project it
Okay.
to the level that we've projected the secondary education on to.
Okay.
You get it?
Yeah.
Me, my nephew, when he finished JSS, He was talking about the prempers. He was talking now. Hey, we call technical school. And when he was going to do when he was attending KTI, he was doing what do you call it, apprenticeship or pon or makwanya.
Yeah,
Now,
apprenticeship.
of course. And now he's in poly, but he can still work on the heavy duty otimi repair.
Sure.
And this of frame cast offer me buy a frame minim ni ope. You get it? So frame no can your pa mitimi chance we ha.
Yeah.
Oh yes be yi. Ndi manye scam no kra no watimi tamness ni tools. E she ne kotokom e de kochini koye adwumanya kakra de she ne bottom.
Sure.
So if the government is supposed to does that, it will reduce burden on parents.
Okay.
Because we ends and adwuma enya fe na wo be wie abeka se me twen se obi mfa me adwuma wo wie a wonim dan so bo a wo fa site a me carpenter o ma ko school ma wie now what they and then carpentry they say I advanced we be draw say no be bodan so now they are chire no pa no say be boso ma me no boso ama no now aje kakra de aye ashe obotom. So these are the things that I think we need to invest in too, because Ghana ya bre. Ghana we've suffered to the extent that and the Togo crooked way and on mama tireless.
Yeah. Okay. Debbie.
Yeah, so I think it's about time we dive much of our attention into the vocational sector. That has to do with vocational skills. And I would say that of late, vocational skills generate more revenue for the individual.
Okay.
More. Because when you go to school and then I've seen something very common with our educational sector. We are much focused into chewing. They will tell you that chew, pass and forget. So you chew, you pour it, you pass and forget, and then that's it. And then after school, you cannot even bring